Yeah, hi traders, welcome to the week ahead. It's GJ here. Trust you've had a good weekend and trust you and your families are safe. Let's get right into it. Before we start, we do understand that this video is only for educational purposes only. We do not offer financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a trader that has opinions about the market. And so if you make any decisions based on any information shared in this video, you agree not to hold me responsible for the results of those decisions you might make, but you take full responsibility for them. So without that and without further ado, let's get right into it. Again, we're still got a lot of pairs stuck in key sideways ranges. And there's a couple of possible trading scenarios that may come off this week, and we'll have a look at that as we go through. Generally, the Aussie pairs are all the same, and in regards to the Aussie USD or any USD crosses, I'm watching this closely, and you've seen me show you this before, and you can see that we're at critical levels here, and providing this level holds, I think we're going to get more of the same. If we begin to see a significant move and a break above here, I think you might see a little bit of a technical pullback in pairs like the New Zealand USD, Aussie USD. But we'd need to get up here, and there'd need to be some significant strength in the US dollar. So with that being said, let's get right back in and check the Aussie pairs. Aussie Canadian dollar. Look, if we're going to go higher, you can see on this weekly chart that we've been in a downtrend. This is my basically this is my baseline, and you can use anything you like. But now that it's crossed over there, it's suggesting technically to me now that we could be seeing a move up. I think that this was the original trade that we got into. Now, I really would like to see a pullback, and the deeper the pullback, I'd like to see a pullback to possibly these levels here, and get a bounce off here. Now, the market will do whatever it wants. So until we see some significant movement up from here, a pullback somewhere down into here, I'm not that confident with any trades. There's nothing on the Aussie Swiss. Just several weeks now, we've just gone sideways. You can see I had the trend line in here, and a break of a trend line doesn't mean to say you should jump in. You want to look for gas in the tank. It's still suggesting that the inclination of this pair is up. So I'm looking for either a technical pullback back down into here, and look for a place to buy from here, or a decent strong Aussie dollar that will give us a good bounce off this. Same with the Aussie JPY. We just locked in this range, and until we break out either way, I don't think that nothing much is going to happen. Aussie New Zealand made a critical break last week. Now I'm looking for a retrace and a good bearish formation. This is what I'm going to be watching this week. Good bearish formation here, and I would take it south. Otherwise, it's just likely to get back in here and keep going sideways. But that's one on my watch list that I'm watching closely. Aussie US dollar, again, it's just not been able to break through here. It's had a couple of attempts, pulled back in. This range is around 200 pips, and so you could, if you wanted to, trade it from the top, to the bottom, etc. But this right now in a market like this, this is where a lot of traders get beaten up. They go down to smaller time frames, really desperate for trades, and it just doesn't work. Nothing on the CAD Swiss, same old story. Here's the key levels here and here. There's no obvious trading setups. They may come this week. Aussie JPY, we're locked in this range. If I got a break above here and I saw some significant strength in the Canadian dollar, I'd definitely be interested in taking a trade to break out. Failing that, this level here that I've got the cross on is a really key level, and you should be possibly looking for a bounce off here with strength in the Canadian dollar and weakness in the JPY. CAD Swiss is a write-off for me right now. I'm not even bothering with that, so we won't waste any time. But the Euro AUD suggestion is that we're still in a downtrend here, and until we get a break out of this little area, the way I would play this, if we get a break lower from the support area, is that I'd take a couple of small lot sizes and I'd target this area for a small scalp down. And then if we got a break of this level and we went, if we broke through this level here and then got a retest, that's where I'd start to load up again, right in there. Euro, Canadian dollar, again, just a lot of sideways movement. I'm going to play it safe. I'm really looking not just for a break, because look, we had a break here, break here, break here, but I really think in these market conditions, and unless there's a real impulse move on, we get a break, I'd much rather see the retest and then get in here, right in here like that. Euro Swissy had a couple of attempts to go north, didn't work out. Again, not a problem. You just keep your losses small, and that's all there is to it. And until these are the critical levels, until we get a break either side of that, there's nothing going on there. It's a real patience game at the moment. There's so much on with geopolitical events, Brexit coming down to D-Day, and elections coming with the US. So still suggesting that the Euro pound is in an uptrend. And at that end, I'm looking for some more buys if this trend's going to continue. My preference is always to trade in the direction of the trend if I can. And again, it's the same on the Euro JPY. And we just have to wait and see. Risk on, risk off. If it's risk off and Japanese and Swiss come into play and they get really strong, we could see a deeper pullback here. This initial move up and a technical correction here, quite significant, but it just hasn't been able to get on and move on up. So again, just waiting, and I'll keep you posted in the chat room if I'm seeing any setups. I really do like the Euro ZD again, much like the Euro AUD. If this level holds, it's still suggested to be in a downtrend as far as I'm concerned. I much prefer, a move up here and then, target a buy and head down. I'd, much prefer something like that. Have to wait and see, but this is the key level. A break out of here, good bullish formation, and we might have some, if we got some juice in the tank, we could see this moving higher. Euro USD, locked in this range again between 112 and 113. It's back in that range, but it's got higher to 113,500. It touched several weeks ago, 8 weeks ago at the beginning of June. It touched the 1400, but then just drifted down. It was worth trading it back down from there. It's worth trading off the 1200 area if you get something like this. your little trade up, but look, it came right back, retested, and now it seems to be stuck around about this 1300 area. So again, no trade unless there's a setup. Pound AUD. I'm looking for a technical correction, really. We've had this long move down, and you know, there's a lot of people say this is going to go lower, blah blah blah. But look, just let the market make the decision for you. And for me here, this is the level that we should be looking at. You probably just in there. You can see through there where prices reacted to it before. So I'm not really too keen in trading into that. We'll see if it rolls over like this and we get another move south. But we just have to be patient. Is this the bottom? If it is, we could see a decent move up if we get strength in the Aussie and weakness in the pound. That's as simple as it gets. Now, pound CAD, I am really interested in this one. We had the break of the trend line last week, and we've had a decent trade up to retest these highs. Now, what happens now is it's really got to break this level. And this is one that I am hoping will fire this week. It could just as easily turn here and, you know, just come back down. You know, we could easily have a move off this area here, just down into here, maybe. Or we can get a break of this level. It's going to do, you know, one or two of those things. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. But this is the key level, key inflection point here. So watch this, and I'm hoping that we get a shot at this week. Pound, Swissy, you know, this is the historical low down here. But this is a very important level here. And so if we get a break of my baseline and a break of this level here at around 194, we can just above that, it's actually 195. I will be looking to try and see if we can get a retest of this area through here. I really love this thing to break, but the whole thing's got to settle down. The UK's got to officially get out of the European Union, whether it's a hard Brexit or a soft Brexit, and then I think we're going to get some decent moves one way or the other on the pound. So just patience. Here we have the pound JPY again. That was a beautiful move down through here. I got into it again with the break of my baseline. I'm back out of it. I got out of it. I didn't trade it last week at all, I don't think. I might have in the blended breakout at one point. I think I did. Where to from here? 136. That's a big number. I have found that the yen pairs, they tend to like the big numbers. And so 136, just up a little bit in there, is very key. So I'd rather this go up. Even if I break out of this box, I want to see a close up here before I go north. So that's one I am watching for. If we get some weakness, we could get another retest of this area here. Okay, so pound ZE, bit like the pound AUD, and if we squish this up, this could be a bottom. In order, though, to get a decent move up, we've got to see a change in the pound. We need to see some real strength and weakness in the New Zealand dollar, obviously. So again, it's a waiting game. We just have to wait and see, but there's no trade here. This engulfing candle off here was worth a trade. I had a little crack at it, a few nickels and dimes again. Pound USD made another move up last week. Nothing significant, but here we are testing again. You can see that this area has tested it quite a bit, and it managed to get up here travel nearly 150, 160 points up into here. So what I'm looking for this week with this one is a bullish formation around this area, which will hopefully take this high out. Again, the market's going to do what it wants to do. But that is another one that I'm watching closely this week. New Zealand USD. This is a really key level in here. And, if we're going to see another move up, it's got to bounce off here. We're at sitting around about 65, 500 just in here. And you can see that it's just mucking about. I'd really prefer something like this, an engulfing candle, something like this here, to take this out if we're going to see another move higher. And if we do, if we just come in and have a look at the weekly for a minute, you can see this is a very important area here where price was reacting. If we can get a decent move up to maybe 67, that's a couple of hundred pips. And if I can get a good candle formation in there after a daily candle change, maybe on the 4-hour or the hourly, I will be targeting this area up in here. New Zealand CAD, I'm looking for a technical pullback. The original trade I had was down in here, added again. I'm out of it now. This is a key area here, a resistance area on the weekly chart. Not a lot of pips in here, so I'm a little bit reluctant. I'm really looking for a pullback. Maybe a retest of this level down here would be nice. If it was a perfect world, that's what I'd be looking for. New Zealand, Swissy, not a lot. I'd definitely be interested in buying to get from down here. Wouldn't hold my breath too much at the moment in here. So I'm not really looking at this for a trade this week. New Zealand JPY, this was the trade up, a break here. We're out of it, and just looking to see what happens. Again, here's your key levels, 71 and 70. Not interested in trading it in here. It's only 100 pips. US CAD is just doing its thing, and you can see that, here's the range. If you want to be more pedantic, you can go up there. If it breaks this, we could get a move lower, but it's had several goes at breaking it, and then it's just come back up. So I'd be very wary if I was going to trade it south in the current climate. I would want a close below these areas here. Okay, US, Swiss. I'm looking at this, but I'm not really holding my breath. I need to see a strength in the US dollar. A break at this level here could see a retest down into here. For me, all I've got on is this trend line, and I'm looking for a close of 9. Looking for a break of around about this area here. And if I get a good candle formation, I would I'd take a chance at this, provided I see strength in the US dollar. Again, US JPY just going sideways. Watching this, it's broken 107 again, but 106 for me is a real key area, and I'm just reluctant to, if I saw an impulse move, I'd probably have a little scalp down in here. It's a good area for a trade and a retest up here. But right now I'm just watching and contemplating what happens. Here we go with gold, and 1800's the big number right now. There's 1800 there, and I've got pending orders through here. I've got a couple of orders that have been triggered, and I've got some more to add in here. I think, you know, 1900's not out of the way over the next 6 to 12 months in gold. Now, of course, we can see a decent pullback here and maybe a retest of these areas here. But the way I'm going to play it is that every time it breaks 1800, I'm going to add, and I've got a pending order sitting under here. So if we get a decent pullback, I'm just, you know, I'm not going to just keep adding and adding and adding, but I've at the moment got a hedge in here, and I know if you live in the States you can't do that, and that hedge will cover, they'll be the same size as any orders that I have open up in here, because I think long term, and you can quote me on this, my personal opinion is that gold is going to go much higher. And if we come back down into here, I'll just be buying from here. In fact, if we get back down here, I will be stacking it up. And silver's the same, doing exactly the same thing with silver. I'm holding positions. I'm above $18. I'm looking to add again up here. I've got some positions that are open, and I'm looking for a break of this area here and an excuse to add some more. All right, that's it. And please look after your capital and be patient. There is, you know, there's a few nickels and dimes you're picking up. I'll do a short little video for what I'm doing with the London breakout and show you how I go about that. And I'm only picking up small impulse moves. It doesn't happen every Frankfurt and London breakout. But around about once a week, I'm picking up, you know, a decent move of maybe 50 to 100 pips on one of the pound crosses. You know, that is enough to whet my appetite for a little bit of action. My long-term trading, as I've said, just patience, because these pairs are going to break out of their areas sooner or later. So good pip hunting to you. I'm sorry I can't give you some wonderful trade opportunities. The market, it is what it is, but I'll keep you posted with what I'm doing. Please look after your capital, like I said before. Please practice good money management. So many traders, you know, I ask them, oh, what's your money management? And they've got no idea. All they want is, oh, give me a trade, give me a trade. That's a sure recipe to go broke. And then they get bored because their system isn't working, or they, you know, they've honed their skills, or they've worked out a system they want to try, and someone else is winning and the other person's not, and so they throw it out the window. None of that stuff works. You just got to stay a loser for the rest of your life until you change some things. So don't be frightened to take your profits. You know, I'm using, I'm going after 10 pips. I'm using 3 positions, you know, so if I can trade a lot size of a standard lot, for example, I'll just split that standard lot up into 3, take 10 pips off, and then take 20. If I really think there's some strength in the currency that I've backed, I might stretch it out to 50, and I just lock my profits in. Once I hit 20, I just lock it into break even. A lot of times, especially in the London breakout and Frankfurt, as soon as I hit that 10 pips, man, I've got my stop losses on the other 2 positions at break even. And if it comes back and gets me, I don't care. I'm really looking after my capital and keeping my losses small, because the wins that I have are bigger than my losses, and your account keeps growing. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers. Oh, just before I go, we need to have a quick look at the calendar. Yeah, it's pretty light this week. I'll be watching the Japanese monetary policy statement, not expecting any surprises there. The Bank of England, the governor is going to be speaking. I'm not expecting any surprises there. Core CPI year on year for the pound, I am going to be interested in, and just to see what happens. Keep my eye on it. Later on, we've got CAD stuff. We've got monetary policy report. We've got Bank of Canada rate statement and overnight rate. Not expecting any surprises, but it's just worthy to make sure you're aware when especially high impacting and inflationary data comes out. You may need to protect your trades, or you may need to get out. Unemployment change, Aussie's going through a real second wave of the COVID-19. China GDP quarterly, yearly. I'm going to be watching that because those figures through here could well affect especially the Aussie and New Zealand dollar. We've got trade balance for the euro, and refinancing rate. No surprises expected for the euro, but monetary policy statement, the conference, I'm going to be really interested. I'll be watching a video of that after I get up the following day to see what Mrs. Lagarde is saying. I'm not expecting any, even though the high impact, anything to really change for the dollar. And Bailey speaks again for the Bank of England towards the end of the week, and there you have it. But just be aware of these things, because you can get little impulses. Sometimes they go on and become decent moves, but a lot of the time in this current environment they don't. So protect yourselves, stay safe out there, trade well, and we'll talk to you in the chat room. Cheers.